Hi, I'm Natalie, and this is my adaptive equipment presentation. So for this assignment, I chose to recreate a couple of pieces of adaptive equipment. I have a button hook in combination with a dressing stick and a sock aid. So at my fieldwork site, which is Disability Advocates, we will evaluate clients in their homes and determine if there's any home modifications or adaptive equipment that they could use to be more independent and really help them age in place in their homes. So the case study that I am relating this equipment to was a 64-year-old woman. She has pancreatic cancer. She has diabetes, and she's has a lot of neuropathy in her hands and fingers. She also has spinal stenosis. So her chemotherapy she gets creates a lot of swelling in her legs and feet and ankles. So they're very swollen, and it makes it very difficult for her to dress her lower extremities. So she has trouble with putting pants on, socks, and that sort of thing. Her diabetic neuropathy really affects her fingers and her ability to open bottles and put on shirts that have buttons. So one of her goals is she wants to be able to put on a button down shirt without her daughter's help, because right now she's a mid to moderate assistance with this task, as well as for some parts of lower extremity dressing, like putting on her socks. So that's why I thought it would be great to recreate these pieces of adaptive equipment. Even though my fieldwork site is going to provide these pieces of equipment to her for free to no charge, I just thought it would be great to show you how to recreate simple pieces of adaptive equipment with just household items. So the first one is the sock aid. So I will tell you what I used to make it and how I made it. So one item you need is a bottle, a plastic bottle. I think a plastic bottle seems a little too flimsy. I used a clean air bottle, and that seems to be a little bit sturdier. Then you also need a hole punch, some foam curlers, scissors, some kind of knife to cut the bottle. You'll need rope and duct tape. So the first step in making the sock aid, you want to cut whatever bottle you have. It has to be a cylinder shaped bottle. Cut the top and the bottom off. Once you have that, you will have just the cylinder shape, so you want to cut it in a diagonal. So cut this half here and then a half over here, and then you'll be left with two halves, and they'll obviously be in this shape. So then you can either make two sock aids, or you have one piece that you can use for the sock aid. So the next step, because obviously you'll have sharp edges when using a bottle, I just took the duct tape and wrapped it all the way around each individual edge, just to make sure there's no sharp edges that could scratch or cut something. The next step would be to take your hole punch and punch some holes at the top of your sock aid. And then you will take the rope. Well, first you'll cut it. I cut it about 36 inches long, and then just cut it and thread it through the hole. Tie a nice knot just to make sure it's not going to go anywhere. The next step would be to take the other end of the rope and first thread it through the foam rollers, and then tie a nice knot at the end, so again it won't be able to pull through the rollers. The nice thing about these bigger rollers is that if someone has difficulty grasping items, these ones are bigger. You can get smaller ones like this one, but I like the bigger ones, for people that can't really grasp smaller items. So that's the sock aid. Also, I estimated this would cost anywhere between probably about $7 to make, but actually it would cost about $7 to make all three items. But if you were to buy each of these items separately, it would cost you at least $25 for all three versus $7 for all three. So again, you can purchase these items at, Walmart, EasyLiving.com, Amazon.com, Salmons Preston. If you live in Kent County, you can go to Disability Advocates. I'm sure there's other places in other counties, but if you cannot afford to do that or there is no such resources available, you can simply make these for your clients, or your clients, if they're able, could make them for themselves. So the next one was the dressing stick / button hook. So this, I pretty much took a hanger and kind of bended it together, and eventually I also used pliers to, kind of squeeze it together even more so. At the end, I'll use the pliers to make the perfect shape for the button hook and kind of put it through the hole on a shirt just to make sure it would fit and it was the right size for that button. And then the end is already pretty much curved from the hanger, but you can make it more so it's going to grasp onto items better. And I know this is not very aesthetically pleasing, it doesn't look good, but it does the job. Same with the sockade. Yes, it's not as nice as one you're going to buy in the store, but it still works the same. So that's basically how you could make them. Also, this could really be used for any diagnoses. Someone that had a total hip replacement that needs these items because they can't bend over, and reach their feet, maybe stroke, TBI, arthritis. Really any client that could use adaptive equipment could use this. So it's really designed for pretty much any population, any age, and diagnoses. So now I will show you how to actually use these. I couldn't get a video of my client actually using these, but I thought I would show you how you could use them, even though most of us know how, but at least then seeing the homemade ones versus what a store-bought one looks like. So showing you how they work and get the same outcome. Okay, now I will demonstrate to you how to use my adaptive equipment I made. First is the sockade. So take the sockade and your sock, place the sock over the sockade, and then grab the handles of the sockade and throw the sock and sockade on the floor. Put your foot into the sockade, and then go ahead and pull gently on the handles, and then pull up and point your toe, and your sock will be in on your foot. The next is the dressing stick. So you can use this to grab a pair of pants. And get your foot and leg into the pants. If you're able, or if your client, I should say, is able, once they get to their knees to stand up, then have them just pull their pants up. And last thing is the button hook. So you can see the end of the hook, which I already have that top button done, so I will do this one. You go through the hole on the shirt, over to the button, wrap the button hook around, pull through, and then you have your shirt button. So I just wanted to show you how you could make a couple pieces of adaptive equipment that are typically used and I recommended for my client at fieldwork. So I just wanted to show you that you could make them with household items if you did not have access to places like Disability Advocates, or the client couldn't afford to purchase these items. So thank you.